Here at Heritage Automotive, experience the difference with our great sales department, service department, and parts department.
And we have over 30 lenders with some of the best rates in the market.
So whether it's routine maintenance, mechanical repairs, collision repairs, we're here to help.
Heritage Automotive, expect more, experience the difference.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather today.
We do have the potential for strong to severe storms later this evening into the overnight. I'll have all of those details here in this version of Weather Today. I'm Kelli Rosson here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We are staying mostly cloudy for much of today with a few peaks of sunshine here and there, but a relatively gloomy day. You'll see that here on your Build Your Day forecast, brought to you by Parks Lumber Company. Temperatures starting off in the 70s, warming up into the mid 80s, maybe even some upper 80s out there this afternoon. Small chance for a few showers this morning, and later on this afternoon we should be mainly dry until we get to this evening with the potential for those strong to severe storms. I don't think they arrive until after 9 p.m., but we could see maybe a few storms before that. But I think mainly after 9 p.m. is when that line of storms will move through. A lot of our area is in a level 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather for this evening. Mainly southern middle Tennessee, just the northern northwestern portion of Lauderdale County and the northern portion of Tishomingo County. Everybody else in a level 2 out of 5. That's reflective of a weakening system moving into our area as it pushes through the Tennessee Valley from northwest to southeast. We will watch, though, for the potential for damaging winds. That looks to be the main threat. Can't completely rule out a tornado or two. Looks to be on the lower end threat for that hazard. But for the rest of this morning, maybe a shower or two. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, hot and humid for today. Breezy out of the south, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Again, maybe a few showers, but this afternoon should be mostly dry. Temperatures in the mid 80s, maybe some upper 80s into North Alabama and Northeast Mississippi. But we are looking mostly dry until we get to that line of storms later on this afternoon and evening for us here in the Tennessee Valley. By about 9 o'clock, going to be knocking on our doorstep. This model is the earliest of much of the computer models, so take that with a grain of salt, but we are just erring on the side of caution, showing you the earliest potential in case you have any plans. I would just be where you're going to be for the night by about 9 p.m. for this evening, with that line of storms moving in and pretty stout at first, but then starting to kind of break up and lose some of its steam, continuing to push through. That was only about an hour time or 2 hours time. That clears our area very quickly. We're going to see, again, the potential for some gusty winds, maybe a tornado or two. But again, that threat on the lower end side. This evening overnight system will continue to push out maybe some redevelopment later into the overnight hours, and then we are mostly clear heading into your Saturday morning. However, we're not all in the clear. We could see some redevelopment of some storms by Saturday afternoon, just depending on how far south that linear system gets overnight tonight. If it continues to push through and clear the area, we may not see any redevelopment Saturday afternoon. However, if it starts to fizzle out a little bit earlier and a little bit more northward, we could see some redevelopment, especially into North Alabama. I'll talk about that here more in just a moment. But for tonight, the threats tonight, main threat going to be damaging winds 50 to 70 miles an hour. Again, can't completely rule out a tornado or two, just not a main concern for this event. Ample ingredients just aren't there for that. Again, main threat going to be those gusty winds, a small hail threat on the lower end, as well as flooding. We could see some street flooding possible in places that typically see flooding, but this system's going to be pretty quick moving, not looking to dump a huge amount of rain. But for this weekend, I will say what happens tonight is going to determine what we see on Saturday, and then what happens on Saturday is going to determine what we see on Sunday. So we are truly going to have to take this weekend forecast day by day. So stay tuned for updates, because we could see some changes to the forecast. Like I mentioned here just a few minutes ago, again, with that system tonight, just how far south that does reach will determine what happens on Saturday. You'll notice here, this regional futurecast model thinks that we are going to see more thunderstorm activity in central Alabama, not so much here as that system looks to clear. However, again, we will watch for any northward trend to see if we see any redevelopment here in the local area. Overnight, a few storms possible for Saturday night into Sunday, and then a few storms possible Sunday afternoon. We're holding on to storm chances both Saturday and Sunday just for the potential, but just know that things could change with that forecast. However, we are looking to stay unsettled this weekend as well as into your Monday. So again, with the potential for A few storms redeveloping Saturday afternoon, especially into North Alabama. We do have a level 1 out of 5 risk for severe storms, maybe some hail and gusty winds. That's pretty much the threat for your Saturday, if that even comes to fruition. Again, that may stay to our south, concentrated in central Alabama. So again, we're just going to have to take it day by day. Just know there's thunderstorm chances both Saturday and Sunday for this weekend, in addition to tonight's strong to severe storm threat. Temperatures stay in the 80s for the next several days. Don't cool off until next week, middle and end of next week, but it looks like we see a little bit of a change to our weather pattern heading into next week towards the end of the week. I'll show you that on the 7-day forecast here in just a moment, but for today we'll see mainly clouds, a few breaks in the clouds here and there. Should be mostly dry until we get to the evening line of storms, again mainly after 9 p.m. Temperatures warm today in the mid to upper 80s with a breezy wind out of the south, 10 to 20 miles an hour. We stay unsettled for the next few days. Again, strong to severe storms possible for tonight. Of course, we will be here in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center tracking this line of storms as it moves through. We will be live with coverage for any warnings that do get issued for our viewing area, so be sure to stay tuned and have a way to get watch and warning information this evening and overnight, especially maybe something to wake you up if you do head to bed early on for your Friday evening. And then we stay unsettled for Saturday again. Uncertainty does remain Saturday and Sunday for the forecast. Like I said, we're just going to have to take it day by day, but hey, that's okay. Just keep checking back here to the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel. Then we stay unsettled for much of next week as well. Our next storm threat that we are going to be keeping a close eye on is going to be Tuesday into Tuesday night, with the potential for maybe some strong storms. We will get to that after we get through this weekend, but then check it out. Thursday, no rain in the forecast. I think we see a little bit of a pattern change. Temperatures in the lower 70s. We should see mostly sunshine heading into the end of next week. That's a check at your local weather forecast. Taylor Plott is back in, or actually, you know what? Chase Wilson is in for Taylor Plott this afternoon. He will be live at noon with your forecast.